I'm Mark Watson and welcome once again to Yes, How Can I Help? Pronounced like that. For the first time we're in a northern park. They work pretty much the same way as parks down south, but there might be some unexpected occurrences. Today's episode is going to try to deal with a very large backlog of questions still knocking about from episodes 3, 4 and 5 across YouTube, comments and Instagram and Twitter. So I'll do my best. It may mean shorter answers than usual because we're going to need to get through an awful lot here, and once again the subjects are a mixed bag to say the least. A little bit of admin. A few people have asked in the comments, who is Alex? Alex is the man who does the capture of these normally, although today, interesting element, Alex is here but he's not filming it. I'll say no more about that, except you may get a glimpse of Alex himself. A few people have expressed concern about my walking style. Are you limping? I asked a couple of people last time. I have a minor foot injury caused by excessive playing of squash, which is one of my hobbies these days. Other people have suggested that it's worrying that Alex keeps walking backwards and will eventually trip over something. And at least one person has pointed out that I don't look as if I'm any better at walking forwards than he is at walking backwards. And yet here we are, deep into this popular YouTube series, walking away like nobody's business. In a moment I'm going to ask Alex to start the traditional 10-minute counter, and I will, as I say, crack through as many of your inquiries as I can with the usual aim of rivaling ChatGPT and other massive artificial intelligences whose cleverness threatens us and our humanity. Alright, thanks for all your questions, and do keep them coming, of course, in the comments. And I'll say at this point, I mentioned this briefly in the last episode, but we've had a few questions in the format, is XYZ true or nah? And at some point we're planning a whole special of questions just in the format, something or nah, because you can get through loads like that. So a particular preference for questions phrased in that way in the comments here. Here we are then with the backlog. Timer starts now. And off we go. What's the best way to leave the barbers once you've realised it's going to be a terrible haircut? The best way is just to spring to your feet, say, I have to leave now, and deal with the rest of your life. Does Pluto feel sad that it isn't a planet anymore? No, I think it knew it was coming. It was shielding the secret of its not being a planet for, if you think about it, decades. Should magicians start a political party? No. If the moon is made of cheese, what foodstuffs could the planets be made of? They're all cheese. It wouldn't make sense to make one celestial being out of cheese and then everything else just be sort of sometimes you'll get that sort of thing. So we haven't seen that much of that in the south, but in the north, because it's colder, people have to jog in order to not shut down. You're on a burning triangular shaped building. To survive you can jump off, but the landing platforms on the sides are A, shark infested water, and you cut your knee, bloody hell, the shark's going to be all over that. B, soft pillows but underneath 16 panes of glass. C, dinner at Nigel Farage's house for 1 year. Where do you jump? I'm jumping off corner C into the Farage dinner arrangement. Nigel Farage is in some ways dangerous and certainly objectionable man, but the other two options are very likely to kill or maim me. If I have to go to dinner every day for a year with someone that I disagree with on a number of issues and probably wouldn't get on with that well, still there's the opportunity for me to work my life around that. It would be really weird, of course, every night turning up at his house, but perhaps in time we'd establish some sort of common ground. Perhaps I'd be able to, I doubt I'd be able to win him round in most cases, but maybe we'd find at least, and I don't know what the dinners would be like. I imagine he mostly sort of would just meat, but I'm a meat eater. I just think it's sensible to choose dinner with even someone you dislike quite a lot over one certainly fatal and one potentially fatal course of action. I have met Farage once as well, but he wouldn't remember me, I don't think.
Speed up.
I will not speed up. I will do this at my own pace. If you had, oh, hang on. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Keep the time rolling, but I've gone into the wrong bit and I can't see my screenshots anymore. Okay, we're back. Humans tend to wish they could fly. What do you think birds wish they could do? They probably wish they could open bank accounts, but they can't. If you were a cat but could converse in English, what flavours of cat food would you ask for? Prawn cocktail? Same as crisps. Mark, I'm really enjoying these little walks with you. I'm continually nervous for your cameraman's safety. This is what I'm saying. Don't you worry. Don't you be nervous about anything. What I find really cool about this content, oh, this isn't even the question, is not only does Mark get to engage with us, but we also get to engage, yeah, no time for that, thanks. Of course I'm joking, I did like that. Following the Groundhog Day theme, what's the worst possible song to be playing every morning in a Groundhog Day situation? It's that one that goes, Barbara Streisand. Do we actually need sparrows? If so, there's surely got to be at least one kind of bird that we can just go up to and say, yeah, sorry, turns out you're free to go, actually. What you're saying, either sparrows are unnecessary or some other type of bird must be. Well, what birds are there? We need owls because of their funny thing they can do with their head, and otherwise you don't know if it's night time. You can only know if it's night time if you can hear hoo-hoo. We need robins because of Christmas. We need eagles and hawks to mesmerise us with their wingspans. We need albatrosses to be in Victorian poems and so forth. Yeah, maybe we don't need sparrows. We've got to have blackbirds. I started to think we don't need sparrows, and that had not occurred to me before. No, not answering that. Well, not answering that. It's not really a question. Whose garden do all the peas come from? Is it a single very generous homeowner, or are many of us producing peas without our knowledge, which are actually harvested discreetly by hard-working pea gremlins? No, all peas are grown in one man's enormous garden, John P. Obviously, they're then put into different bags. Well, you know how peas work. If a genie replaced each room in your home with randomly selected rooms from your friends' homes, but you're allowed to keep one room as it is now, big-ish if they concede that, which room would you save? I have a nice ensuite bathroom. I think I'd keep that, and everything else could gradually go, I suppose. But it would certainly be a strange feeling, and I sort of hope it doesn't happen. This is one person's asked 2 questions. Do we live in a simulation? What is the best type of rice? No, coconut. How are we doing for time, Alex?
5.
Bang on, that's what I do, that's what I do. Is decanting mayonnaise from a jar into a squeezy bottle a viable thing to do? It's possible, but it would be, well, you'd have to, obviously, you want to open up the squeezy bottle as much as you, yeah, you can do it, fine, do it. If you want to spend your one precious life on this earth just faffing about with mayonnaise, do it, be my guest. Sorry, I like mayonnaise. Don't know why I'm sorry. Do you think we all see the world? This is a common question. It's not one that anybody can properly answer by definition, except me. Do you think we see the world, all of us, in a visual sense, in the same way? Does a field of bluebells look the same to you as it would to me? Or a plate of chips? Or my cat, Paul McCartney? Very nice. If you give a cat a punning name like that, do you ever get bored of it when you've had the cat for like 10 years and think, God, I don't know, I shouldn't be asking questions back at you, that's not the protocol here. Yeah, I reckon we all, if you look at that, that's green, I reckon, oh, there's a bus there, bus! I reckon you're seeing it the same way as me, like it's big and it's got wheels, or the grass, for example, is sort of short. Yeah, don't worry about that. Nah, that's all fine. No, we're all fine, reality is reality. What do we do to stop companies like Thames Water from filling our rivers with excrement? I suppose we need to go up to every every employee of Thames Water individually and say things like, please put your poo somewhere else. Loud talking from that man, but I suppose it takes 2 to tango, doesn't it? This is an interesting question. Well, if you go to an urban area, what is in the middle of city blocks? Is it just empty space surrounded by buildings? Are the buildings occupying the whole space? I am baffled. What do you mean? Well, yeah, I mean, what a city is just buildings surrounded by space, really. And I'll go further. The whole of the world is just stuff surrounded by space. And in fact, all of existence is mostly nothingness with a bit of stuff floating in it. And that includes urban areas like Guildford. How long, Alex?
2:44.
Whoops. How satisfied were you with the level of backlash to U2 giving everyone their album for free in 2014? I was reasonably satisfied with people's responses. On the one hand, it was in a sense a gift of free music, but it was, and I have no particular, I think U2 get sort of sometimes too hard a time because dog there, dog and dog whistle, 2 people with a dog, yellow trousers and a dog. Newsflash. I told you, it's the north. Anything can happen. U2 have made a couple of, in their early career, remarkable songs, including New Year's Day and Pride in the Name of Love. And with all that, you had an unbroken stream of excellent singles, in fact, in the 80s and early 90s, and now perhaps a little bit turgid, some of their stuff. But yes, but the problem was the imposition. The problem was you can't start just putting stuff onto people's phones and things without their having asked for it. Having said that, the fact that everyone got so angry when it's very easy to delete the album or just skip over it was also sort of instructive in its own way about how absolutely saturated we are in free content and how we've sort of divorced ourselves a little bit from the reality of artistry, of people making stuff. As someone who had a pet turtle, oh yes, this was about what animal would I sleep in a bed with if I had to for the rest of my days. I said a turtle because I didn't think it would move around, but this person says, as someone who had a pet turtle growing up, you might be surprised to know how much they move around in bed. They also have very sharp nails and smell like dead fish. This is sounding worse and worse, this turtle of mine. To each his own, of course, but just wanted to let you know what you're getting into. Thank you for that. Do penguins like being penguins? Yeah, they love it. Imagine it. Absolutely brilliant. That's not what penguin does, but I did it. Shops or park, and if so, why? Shops, because you can buy stuff. Good luck getting a Baby Bell here. Don't like Baby Bells. Oh, Alex there almost knocked over by our own cameraman. These are the sort of dangers. We've not done it as a three-man unit before. Why have cars got round it over the years? Because people have as well, and cars are made for people. When Jesus ascended into heaven, did he have to suck a barley sugar to stop his ears from popping? No. Jesus was and is the Son of God, although possessing some human qualities by then, he was also sort of deity. Well, he was always sort of deity, and I reckon he could probably turn off the old ear popping problem. 30 seconds! Will he run out of questions or places to walk first? Neither will ever happen. This show will live forever.
We have done a little loop.
Having said that, we have run out of space to walk even in this park, yes. Should I visit the UK? I already got bad weather at home. Yes, that's insulting. We have lots of things to recommend us as a country. And lastly, if a donkey, an orangutan and a hamster fell out of a plane at 30,000 feet and none of them had a parachute, which of them would have the best chance of surviving?
That's time.
And why? It's going to have to land in a tree or something to break its fall to have even the slightest chance of surviving. And of the three, only a hamster is small enough to remain nestling in the tree.
We didn't have time for that.
Well, we sort of did have time for it. Yes, we've very slightly infringed the 10-minute limit there. You've been watching? Oh, someone said, why do you always do this sort of thing with your hair? It's because my hair is really mysteriously curly these days and it makes me unsettled. Thank you for watching and contributing to Yes, How Can I Help? As that person commented, even though I was very rude about them, I was just doing that as a joke. It is nice to see communities forming as people, I mean, community forming is a bit of a grand way of putting it, but it is true all the same. It's lovely to see people interacting with each other and with me through this simple but pleasing format. Keep the questions coming, and remember, let's have some or nah questions for a future episode. This has been Yes, How Can I Help? Live on location in Leeds.
Alex.
That's why magnesium reacts the way it does. Please like and subscribe. Having said, I would have done the same.